Hello, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. Hello. Hey, good morning. It is I, your host, Pogo Kiddo, with yet another episode of Red Stone Lapis Lazuli. Let's see if this works. Switch back. Bam. All right. Back to game. No, it does not work. It died. It died. It crashed again. It crashed again. All right, that's okay. We're gonna start up again like. I wonder what the deal is. These are new drivers too. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. New drivers, new everything. I think AMD has to work with OBS to like get a better deal going here. Is it gonna pop up now? Look, it doesn't even show up on my screen. Oh, there it goes. But then it froze, and then it crashed. Oh man, what's going on? So I didn't know this would happen. I had no idea. I'm gonna have to cut off the entire beginning of my show again because it's gonna be full of me like trying to get my game started. Single player like that. No, it doesn't. Huh. What's the deal, yo? I was just playing the game. I was just playing it. Like, I was just playing it with OBS running in the background. And I was like, man, OBS really takes a hit on your video card. Okay, what do we got here? So far so good. So far so good. Oh, there it goes. Are we still good? No. Oh, yeah. It's still good. It's still good. It's still here. Oh, okay. All right. I think we're okay. All right. Yeah, I'm going. Hey, welcome. Oh, yeah. Do you see what I mean? Totally kills my video card. I only have like 100 frames per second when I was getting a lot more before. Turn off that stuff. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, it's getting dark. I need to get out of here. I need to find a bed. But yeah, good morning. Welcome to my show, my Minecraft show again. I've been doing this show for like 5 years, and you're gonna be like, why? Do you get paid for it? I'm like, no, I don't get money for this. They're like, are you part of a government program? I'm like, nope. I'm not. I don't do this for the government. I'm doing this show as a public service because fascism and white supremacy are the most dangerous things to the United States. And we haven't taken care of our fascism or our white supremacy. And and you'll say, well, Pogokiro, yeah, check out this nice town, right? Nice town. But you go, Pogokiro, why would you keep doing this show for so long? How do you know white supremacy and fascism are such a dangerous threat to Americans? Like, how do you know this? What is it that lets you know that this is here? That why can't other people see it? If it's such a danger, like, what's the deal? Well, remember how like a part of what drove me to do this so long ago Um, where'd it go? Lol. What started me doing this so long ago was that there were people going to Salem Saturday Market. There were people going to Salem Saturday Market, and they would cover the front of Salem Saturday Market with signs. Like, I'm out there saying that Donald Trump is an enemy of the people. This is in 2018. 2018. All right. So I've seen Donald Trump work with Vladimir Putin to overthrow the Constitution of the United States and the presidential election of 2016. I saw it happen. I watched it. It's obviously happening. At the same time as I've watched Donald Trump ally with Vladimir Putin to overthrow the presidential election of 2016, I see these people come out and start putting up signs to say the enemy is the U.S. government and Russia is our friend. Like, who are these people? It's that guy. It's that guy and his wife. Ooh, wait a minute. You can't see it. It's that guy right here. That guy and his wife. Who are doing it. They have the sign out there that says Russia is not the enemy, and that the enemy is the United States. Here, let me get me out of the way. You can see. You see here, right? You see, Russia is not the enemy. Who is the enemy? CIA, FBI, NSA, DOD, and Congress. In other words, the United States government is our enemy, and Russia is not our enemy. That's what this guy and his wife are saying, right? Do you understand? This guy is on Team Russia, Team Putin. He wants to overthrow the United States of America, and he goes to the Salem Saturday Market in order to push this agenda. That's part of what got me to start doing what I was doing. Was that guy was showing up, and like he was literally inside the market. He was setting up a camp inside the market to show off these anti-American ideas. And no one was stopping him. No one was doing anything. So I did a counter protest, and they called the police on me like multiple times because I counter protested this guy. Well, the other day, Saturday, I went to Salem Saturday Market, and I saw, let me tell you what I saw. I saw this guy out there again. He's out there again. He's out there again. And he set up like a burning. It's like he's at Burning Man. He set up a tent on the corner. He set up a tent on the corner, and he covered it with conspiracy theories. He covered it with conspiracy theories. Ban the jab. Like, what's this guy like? Is he from the UK? Like, what the hell, dude? What do you mean ban the jab? What are you talking about? And look who's inside. Why? It's those same people. It's the same people that said Russia is our friend. The same people that said Russia is our friend and that the United States is our enemy are also telling you that the vaccine is bad and that we should save the children. Like, these guys are absolutely crazy. Oh, and they're all pro-Trump. They're pro-Trump. So we already know Donald Trump is a white supremacist who tried to overthrow the United States multiple times. We already know that. So these guys are white supremacists, but they're hiding. It's not obvious they're white supremacists. They hide behind their slogans. You see what? Look at their slogans. Look what he repeats. They want your property, nothing for you. What are you talking about? What is Agenda 2030? Depopulation. Like, you're the guys who are saying to distrust the vaccine so you die from COVID-19. You guys are the crazy ones. These people are crazy. I mean, like, at least they're not inside the market, the Salem Saturday Market. At least they're not inside the Salem Saturday Market. But they're still around. Do you see what I mean? Those crazy people are still around. They're still pumping out the misinformation. They're still they're still working for Vladimir Putin. They probably don't get a check from him. There's not a written agreement where they agree to work for the Russian government, but that's essentially what they're doing. They're spreading misinformation about the COVID vaccine so that more Americans die. They're spreading distrust about the American government so that Americans distrust their government. And they're promoting the Russian government. They're promoting Russia. So Vladimir Putin would call them useful idiots. Useful idiots. They're stupid, but they're useful for Russia in order to destabilize the United States. I mean, like, it's out there. It's there. I was out there yesterday. These videos are from yesterday. This is all from yesterday. This isn't like brand new. I mean, this isn't like old stuff. This is from yesterday. After how many people have already died from COVID? After we already know Donald Trump is a criminal and he's already being put on trial for trying to overthrow the government. They're still out there spreading disinformation, and they set up an entire camp like they're at Burning Man. Like, look at this guy. He's crazy. So he's a climate denier, he's an anti-vaxxer, and he's a pro-Trumper. The guy is crazy. And with his friends, they come out here and they spread misinformation. Which is fine, right? That's just one crazy dude. That's his freedom of speech. He can do whatever he wants, right? Well, yeah, now, because he's on a corner and not inside the market. But... So you're free to spread disinformation in the United States. That's your right. It's your right to spread lies if you want to. However, that doesn't absolve the rest of us from our duty to spread truth. Just because that guy's spreading lies and disinformation and anti-American ideas doesn't mean that we have to stop, roll over, and give up. No, that guy's a fucking moron. That guy's an idiot. And he's an example of why the United States is in so much trouble. Because people like him and his wife are white supremacists. They may not have cards. They may not have joined the KKK. But their actions in total work against multiracial democracy and help the fascists. So... they're de facto white supremacists. I guess that's what you'd call them, right? They don't outright say they're white supremacists. They don't hold overtly okay. Assuming support of Donald Trump isn't overt racism. Like, I kind of assume that if you're a Trump supporter, you're a racist. I mean, there's no other way around it. Like, at this point, like, I guess it's okay to say that if you're a Trump supporter, you're a racist. But yeah, that's the problem. We have, people are okay with being racist in the United States, and it's shitty. You have a right to be racist. But it causes problems. It causes problems because that racism is used as a weapon against multiracial democracy, our evolution. Because the whole point of democracy is to spread it to everyone, not to keep it for just the elite few. Now, I'm not just making this up, right? I'm not like, when I say Donald Trump is an enemy of the United States and that he tried to overthrow the government, I'm not just making this up. It's not me talking conspiracy theory. Remember this guy? That guy, his name is Henry Tarrio. Maybe he calls himself Enrique, but his name is Henry. Henry Tarrio. Henry Tarrio. Henry Tarrio. Right there, he's pictured here with the senator from Florida, Rick Scott. He's a Republican, so he does not believe in democracy. Neither one of these people believe in democracy. All right. Rick Scott was convicted of, I don't know if he was convicted, but he was investigated for defrauding Medicare. So he stole money from the federal government, Rick Scott, as governor of Florida. And then he became senator. So he's a bad guy. Rick Scott's a bad guy. And he's consorting with convicted traitor Henry Tarrio. This guy is literally a convicted traitor. He's literally convicted and spending 22 years in prison for trying to overthrow the government. A seditious conspiracy. A conspiracy to overthrow the United States. It's not me making it up. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. This guy is literally in prison. He's literally in prison. And look. That's Joe Biggs. Joe Biggs is literally in prison for trying to overthrow the United States. He's a traitor. Joe Biggs is a traitor. This Joe Biggs guy. And look what he's doing. He's shaking hands with the current governor of Texas, Greg Abbott. Greg Abbott is anti-American. He's anti-democracy. He's anti-United States. He's a Confederate. And he believes Texas to be its own country. So they have wired their electricity grid to not connect to the rest of the country. The Texas grid is only for Texas. So the poor people of Texas are at the mercy of the power companies because they can charge whatever amount they want to the people. So a lot of small people just get their entire life savings destroyed because there's a cold snap, and all of a sudden electricity prices go through the roof. Because they don't have a cap on it. They just go with whatever. So small people get their entire their houses seized because they can't afford the electricity bill because Texas is insular. and the government led, the white supremacist government led by Republicans in Texas is backwards. And here they are. They're converting with literal people who tried to overthrow the government, with criminals. Greg Abbott is consorting with a traitor, Joe Biggs, who's in prison now. He's in prison for years. So I'm not making it up. I'm not, it's not me just being la 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 la. These guys are literally trying to overthrow the government. This guy here, he literally wants to do harm to the United States. I mean, he's sitting there trying to promote Russia and talks bad about the United States. The guy is literally he's a useful idiot. He is stupid. I can't get over it. So we had this one guy stand around in New York City holding a flag promoting the death penalty for Donald Trump. Now, maybe he wasn't. Maybe he didn't understand that's what he was doing, but that's what he was doing. He was promoting the death penalty for Donald Trump. Let's look at his flag. Trump for death. Donald Trump was born in 1946, and he's to be executed in 2024. Ooh, that's a pretty optimistic prediction there, guy. But Trump for death. Why would you suggest Donald Trump for death? Why would you do such a thing? Well, it just so happens that the penal code in the United States for treason, the penalty is death. One of the penalties is death. So yeah, it's entirely reasonable to give Donald Trump capital punishment for trying to overthrow the election. Absolutely. In fact, I encourage it. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a great idea for the United States to apply capital punishment to Donald Trump. It would be a way of demonstrating that the American justice system goes after everyone, big or small. And it highlights the unique danger of seditious conspiracy. It's not like regular crimes that regular people do, like murder or theft or whatever. When you try to overthrow an entire government, you're harming not just one or two people, but an entire country. You try to take away the vote of an entire country. So yeah, I am all for the death penalty for Donald Trump. He gave the death penalty to 13 people when he was president. And he recommended the death penalty for many people, including Hunter Biden. Donald Trump recommended the death penalty for Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden's not even convicted of anything yet. He's not even charged with anything near seditious conspiracy. So if Donald Trump thinks Hunter Biden should get the death penalty, absolutely we should give the death penalty to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is way more serious than Hunter Biden. Holy shit. Absolutely the United States should execute Donald Trump. For sure. It would serve multiple purposes. There's been a cult of personality built up around Donald Trump, so which is by nature is irrational. So you're not going to talk people out of being in a cult of personality for Donald Trump. The only way you're going to stop this cult of personality is if the United States convicts Donald Trump of treason and then applies the penalty of death as per the law. Now, I've heard that YouTube has a bunch of like censored words that I'm not supposed to say, but oh well. I say whatever. Yeah, if you say these censored words, then YouTube will demonetize you, and they will not spread your video. So it's like, wow, well, what are these censored words that you're not allowed to say? Well, I'm pretty sure what I've been talking about, the death penalty, that's one of the censored words. What's the other censored word that YouTube doesn't want you to say? Slavery. Slavery. If you say the word slavery, then YouTube will demonetize you and then not give you any advertisements and not spread your video. Why? Why? Who cares why? It's de facto censorship. Like, how are you going to discuss history? Slavery is a part of history. How are you going to... It's almost like taking the Florida Don't Say Gay bill and putting it into effect. Like, at Google's level. Like, really? For real? So, that kind of bums me out. Like, my whole show is dedicated to exposing that which doesn't want to be exposed, that which is hidden in plain sight, and it's to discuss our history, and history is not always a pleasant, happy experience for everyone. So yeah, it's kind of sad that YouTube is gonna like censor me, but that's the way it is. It's their business, right? I couldn't have even been doing this if it were not for YouTube. So, gotta work within the limitations, as such. Unless I want to make my own like video distribution company. Yeah, right. So, So yeah, here's another picture of me, right? Here's me holding the sign, and then there's that one guy again. They're literally at the same Saturday market, trying to take it over. They want to take over the same Saturday market so they can spread conspiracy theories and anti-American ideas. They're bad guys. They're bad people. I've been doing this for like 5 years. It's not like I just like woke up and saw it. Like, I've been watching it like grow, and I've been trying to make people aware of it. That fascism is on the rise. These guys are a symptom of, those guys right there, they're a symptom of fascism. Because those guys led to this guy. And that guy is basically spreading fascism. Russia is a fascist nation, is a terrorist state. It's a state, it's literally a terrorist state. Do you understand that? Do you understand? Like, try to understand. Russia is literally a terrorist state. It uses the entire might of the Russian government to what? To attack civilians in Ukraine. Russia doesn't fire missiles at military bases. They don't fire missiles at at troop formations. They don't fire missiles at ammo depots. Russia uses its missiles to fire at churches and residential buildings to kill regular civilians. Why would they do that? Because Russia knows it cannot win through the military. It's going to lose on the military. So Russia's only hope is to terrorize the people of Ukraine into giving up. That is their goal. That is their strategy. Did you know? Yeah, it's pretty shitty. Russia's only goal, only way of winning, is to terrorize the people of Ukraine into giving up. So this guy is promoting a terrorist state and talking bad about the United States. And he's sitting in Salem Saturday Market on an entire corner, taking an entire corner and making a tent like he's at Burning Man. And it's not, he's not just by himself. He's connected to all the other insurrectionists who tried to literally overthrow the government on January 6, 2021. That's why people are in prison. It's not me talking shit. It's not me making stuff up. People are in prison for this. It literally happened. Let me show you the danger. The danger. So in Tennessee, in Tennessee, the state legislature, Tennessee is a, I would say it's a Democratic state. Tennessee is a Democratic state. However, it's gerrymandered so that the Republicans hold a supermajority, even though the state's I wouldn't say Democratic, but it's a purple state. I know this because 80% of the people in Tennessee want gun reform. And the Republican legislature, what they did was they said, oh, what do the people want? People want gun reform? Okay, so the Republican legislature is going to pass protections for gun manufacturers so that they're protected from the people. Wow, that's actually what's happening in Tennessee. So you have to understand, Tennessee is not a free state. Tennessee is under the control of white supremacists who hold power through undemocratic methods of gerrymandering. As it is already, the Speaker of the House of Tennessee doesn't even live in his own district. Sexton, his name is Sexton, doesn't even live in his own district. Just like the senator of Alabama, Tommy Tuberville, doesn't live in Alabama. He lives in Florida. Remember, Republicans don't believe in democracy, so you can see how that plays out in the way that like they don't honor it at all. So, anyways. So this is just to let you know the context of Tennessee is that it's a fucked up state. White supremacists are ruling that state with an iron grip, even though they're in the minority. The majority of people in Tennessee are pro multiracial democracy, but the white supremacists of Tennessee hold control. So that's at the state level. So at one point, the supermajority, Republican supermajority of Tennessee, was disrupted by protests from the people. The people wanted gun reform. They really, really want gun reform. Like the 80% of the people in Tennessee want gun reform, but the state legislature, controlled by Republicans, were going to pass protections for gun manufacturers. So there was the people protested. And in response to the people protesting, the Republican-controlled Senate expelled three Democratic members. Oh, the people don't like what the government's doing. The government is going to respond by reducing their representation in our body. So everything the Republicans do in the state of Tennessee highlights that they're Confederate traitors, that they don't believe in democracy. They do absolutely do not believe in democracy. They rule by pure power. That's it. Pure power. So these three legislators were kicked out of the House because the people were protesting against the House doing the opposite of what the people wanted. Well, the three people went back to their home districts, had a special election, won their seats again, and went right back and to keep fighting. Well, one of them, Gloria Johnson, she is now running as the Democratic challenger to run for the Senate, for Senator Marsha Blackburn's seat. Remember, Tennessee is controlled by white supremacists. So Democrats are trying to break the control of white supremacists on Tennessee. What is the response of Marsha Blackburn? Remember, Marsha Blackburn is also a white supremacist. She's part of the Confederacy to overthrow the United States. So what does Republican, white supremacist U.S. Senator Marsha Blackburn say? She called Tennessee Democratic U.S. Senate hopeful Gloria Johnson a socialist. That's fine. They call everything a socialist. So that is like meaningless. All she's saying that she's not Republican. So said that U.S. hopeful Gloria Johnson is not a Republican in a fundraising email, as well as, quote, a direct threat to our way of life. Who is our? Who is our? When she says direct threat to our way of life, who is this person? Who is that? Who's this our? She's not talking to me. She's not talking to the people of Tennessee, because remember, the majority of people in Tennessee want the opposite of legislation of what the Tennessee Republicans are passing. So she's not talking about the people of Tennessee. She's not talking about me. She's not talking about Americans. She is talking about white supremacists. That's the only group she cares about, the Confederates. The Confederates. Remember, the Confederates have their own way of life. They have their own idea. They have their own nation. They have their own conception of the way things should be. Like, I'm not making this up. You can go talk to a white supremacist and they will tell you the same thing. For them, the world is a hierarchy dictated by the supreme being they call God. by some supreme being that they call God, and that their God, their white supremacist God, made this hierarchy of life on the planet, and he placed white males at the top of this hierarchy. So if you are to ever question this hierarchy, if you ever are to question it, you are literally going against their white God, and you're committing heresy. It's like there's no reason to it. It's not reason. Don't think there was like scientific fact or any kind of science behind it. There's no science. No. It is purely white supremacist delusion. They believe in a white God that placed white man at the top. And if you ever try to change that, if you ever try to change the fact that white man is at top, you are a threat to God themselves, to the white God. Do you get it? I mean, I'm trying to get this into your brains. The way white supremacists think. They really believe this. They really believe in their white God. They really believe that there's this hierarchy where white man is at top, and anyone who tries to change that is an enemy to the white God. There's no reason. You can't talk these people out of it. It's not. They didn't get talked into it. So let this understand and that this isn't the only thing, right? I've shown you the video already from the Texas Hollerer, or the Tennessee Hollerer. They got a hold of of a recording. Someone recorded the meeting of the GOP, the Tennessee GOP talking amongst themselves. So they were free to talk freely because they're in their own little secret group. No one was recording them. And you could hear them when they talk. They keep referring to our people, our way of life, our values. When they say that, they're not talking about the people of Tennessee. They're talking about white supremacy, Confederates. They literally believe in their own country. They won't tell you as much. They won't tell you. They will never tell you. They will never say so. because like if you're not one of them, they're not going to tell you. They have to maintain a facade. Like only when you're one of the chosen will they like start talking to you about this stuff. And like again, I'm not making it up. It's not like I'm like imagining this stuff. Did you see like the other weekend, like a bunch of Nazis fucking having a parade in Florida? What the fuck? Like literal Nazis with literal swastikas on their flags marching down the street. Like, come on, guys. And you thought I was exaggerating when I kept calling them Nazis. They're all the same thing. They're all the same thing. So remember these guys. Remember these white supremacists. They only care about their only standard is power. Their only standard is power. That's why they don't see a problem here. That's there's no for white supremacists. There's no problem. It's okay for white supremacists to say to use the state to lock up all these people. Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Adam Schiff, Robert Mueller, Dr. Fauci. It's okay to use the state to lock up these people with no charges, no due process, no nothing. It's okay for them. However, if the United States uses due process on people on their side, suddenly, no, you can't do that. They're untouchable. You can't do that. You see how there's no consistency. Their only standard is power. In this case, they have the power, so it's good. In this case, they don't have the power, so it's bad. That's how they think. Like, what do you mean? Who's the they I'm talking about? I'm talking about people like this. Like this guy and his wife. That's how they think. This is how they think. There's a white supremacist hierarchy, a white god with white man at the top. And anyone who tries to challenge that is an enemy of the white god. So your choice is, do you want to follow the white god or not? You don't have to follow the white god. The white idol, I should say. You don't have to follow the white idol. But these people do. These people do for sure. Because the Russians feel that they are the top of the hierarchy. That the Russians feel God put them at top. That's why it's okay for them to round up all the ethnic Russians, the people who are not white. they're like, they're not European, the Asian Russians, and then send those people to go die in Ukraine. They're okay with that as long as the people in Moscow and St. Petersburg aren't touched. See, it's the same ideology. They're the same ideology. That's what I was telling you, that they're connected. I'm trying to get you to see the connection between the two. That the fascists in Russia are no different than the fascists in Iran, who are no different than the fascists in Saudi Arabia, who are no different than the fascists in Israel, who are no different than the fascists in Italy, who are no different than the fascists in France, no different than the fascists in the UK, no different than the fascists in the United States, no different than the fascists in Japan, no different than the fascists in China. All these people share the same thread of authoritarianism. That's their common thread. The thing that links around the world, right? Do you see how around the world is linked by the common thread of ideology? That ideology is authoritarianism and antagonism towards democracy. I'm trying to get you to see the picture. It is a global thing, dude. That's why they don't want. That's why they use globalism as a pejorative, as a bad word. Like, oh, globalism, bad word, bad. Dude, you have to have a global perspective. You have to. Like, that's like saying be colorblind, be colorblind. No, you have to see color. You have to be able to see color. Like, they're telling you not to look. Don't say gay. Don't read these books. You don't have control of your bodies. Like, they're literally Nazis. They're fascists. They're fascists. Oh my God, I can't. And they're linked around the world. It's always the same common ideology of authoritarianism. So that's why that's why what's happening in Ukraine is important to the United States. That because democracies have to band together to fight off authoritarianism. This guy is on Team Russia, right? He's A-OK with Russia killing babies in the night. Because that's what they do, right? In the middle of the night, Russia fires off a bunch of missiles from its Baltic Sea, right? So Russia can't get like its big missiles close enough to Ukraine. So instead, it puts them on ships, and it floats these ships in the Black Sea, one of the oceans nearby. And from that ocean, it can shoot these missiles and go blow up residential buildings. And so you put your kid in bed at night in your apartment building. You put your kid in bed at night, close the door, you just tuck him in, and then you go to your bed and you go to sleep. And at 3 a.m, there's this huge explosion. You're woken up by this giant explosion, and like it smells terrible, and there's fire and screaming. And you look and you freak out, and you go to go check on your kid, and there's a big fucking hole there because the missile blew it up. Your kid's gone. This guy right here, this guy is like, yeah, go Russia. That's what he's saying. He's like, yeah, kill those kids. That's him right there. That's him. He wants to kill Ukrainian children. That's what he wants to do. Look at what his sign says. That's what he wants to do. He wants to murder kids. So he's not the only one. Elon Musk is helping them. Elon Musk is helping Russia. Remember, Elon Musk is not a friend of democracy. In fact, Elon Musk hates democracy. Elon Musk would prefer authoritarianism. Why? Because authoritarianism doesn't have these pesky, immutable things like human rights. Authoritarianism doesn't care about human rights, but democracies do care about human rights, and those are immutable. You can't change them, you can't challenge them. No amount of money is going to undo human rights. So billionaires hate that. They hate that because they feel that their capital should give them unlimited power. And in authoritarianism, it does. They have power. Vladimir Putin is like the richest man in the world. Even though Russia is getting fucked right now, he's still the richest man in the world because he owns all of Russia. He owns the military. He owns it. Like he doesn't have a piece of paper that links legal ownership to him, but he's the ruler of Russia, and he's not there through democratic means. He's there through pure power. So by virtue of power, he owns all of Russia. He is the richest man in the world. So yeah, of course, if you're the richest man in the world, you want the only thing that matters you want is power, because you have the most of it. Elon Musk is like a miniature Vladimir Putin. Elon Musk comes from stolen wealth. His family comes from invaders who invaded South Africa and colonized it for themselves. I mean, I guess in a way they're like Americans, right? Because they don't call themselves Dutch anymore. They call themselves Afrikaans. And they had apartheid, which meant that a large even though the Africans, the Africans were the majority, the white Africans took away their political power and put them on reservations. Bantus, I guess they call them. I don't know what they call them. Yeah, South Africa's fucked up, dude. And he's from there. And his dad owned like an emerald mine, where he used slave labor to extract the mineral wealth of Africa, and then expropriate it and concentrate it for himself, and took it out of Africa. So that's his roots. That's where he comes from. Now that he's here in the United States, he wants to, of course, do away with democracy. He's no friend of democracy. So, in his pursuit of power, he created this like global network of satellites that can create internet connectivity anywhere on the planet. Pretty cool. Sounds like something the United States should have done. Maybe the government did do it for its military satellite, but it didn't do it for the civilians. I can see, yeah, maybe it's expensive. I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to deal with that. Like, maybe that's not what the government does. I don't know. I'm thinking it should have done it. At any rate, the thing is that Elon Musk controls this global network of satellites. He controls it. And Ukrainians do not have their own global networks of satellites like the United States. The Ukrainians don't have a space program. So, Ukraine, in order to defend themselves from Russia, they contracted and paid Elon Musk and Starlink a lot of money to have access to their global satellite network. However, Elon Musk is a narcissist. So he had a personal meeting with Vladimir Putin. And when he came out of that personal meeting with Vladimir Putin, he started repeating all of Vladimir Putin's ideas for Ukraine. Elon Musk repeated that he wanted Ukraine to give up land, to stop fighting. They could never win, and that it was the fault of the West that made Russia invade Ukraine. He repeated all of it. He just was like a useful idiot for Putin. He just repeated it. So he's stupid. It doesn't matter if he's a billionaire. He's fucking stupid. Elon Musk is stupid. At any rate, because he's stupid, he's getting himself involved in the Russian invasion. He's on Putin's team. He's been compromised. So, remember how I told you that Russia uses these ships to fire missiles to kill Ukrainian children in cities far, far away? Well, to stop that, Ukraine devised a plan. They manufactured their own sea drones at their own factories with their own stuff, and they wired it in such a way that they can control it through Starlink in order to like navigate it and have it, use the camera and make it work. Like they did this, and it works really, really good. So that really bothered Elon Musk. He was concerned that it worked really, really good. And it was threatening Russia. So in response, Elon Musk cut Starlink around key points during key times during the operation so that the Russians' fleet would be saved. So Elon Musk, because of his actions, Elon Musk saved the Russian fleet. Good job, Elon Musk. Then the Russians were able to complete the mission. What was the mission of the Russian fleet? To fire off their missiles and hit those residential buildings in Ukraine, to kill those Ukrainian children in hopes that they could break the Ukrainian spirit, because because Russia's losing militarily. So its only chance is to do terrorism. Elon Musk saved the Russian mission. Elon Musk killed those children in service to Russia. Do you see why it's such a bad idea to have the concentration of private power Because Elon Musk is an incredibly powerful person. He controls a global satellite network. And he's not a government. There's no checks on him. There's nothing to check him. At least with a government, they're checked by the people. So you elect, if you don't like what's going on, you elect different people. And if you don't like what's going on, you let your representatives know. And if your representatives don't do anything, then you elect different people. With a billionaire, they don't fucking care. You can't talk to them. You can't even see them. They don't even. And if you could, you can send them a letter, but they're not going to read it. And if they could, they don't care. They're under no obligation to listen to you. Zero obligation to listen to you. You're nothing to a billionaire. They only care about power. The only thing that can match public or private power is public power, the government. That's why Elon Musk is real friendly with China. Because that's where he makes a lot of his Teslas, is in China. So, and China, can crush him at any time because they're not public power, but they're government power, they're sovereign power. And China's got a lot of it. It's authoritarian. They're not bound by laws and rules. They can do whatever they want. If they want to seize all of Tesla's property, they can do it. Elon Musk knows this, so he doesn't want to piss them off. he just wants, he repeats Chinese propaganda because he wants to make money. That's all he cares about. Super bad idea. Elon Musk is responsible for the deaths of Ukrainian children. Sometimes a mistake is much more than just a mistake. By not allowing Ukrainian drones to destroy part of the Russian military fleet via Starlink interference, Elon Musk allowed this fleet to fire caliber missiles at Ukrainian cities. As a result, civilians, children are being killed. This is the price of a cocktail of ignorance and big ego. However, the question still remains. Why do some people so desperately want to defend war criminals and their desire to commit murder? And do they now realize that they are committing evil and encouraging evil? Elon Musk is literally working for Putin at this time. He defended, he may not be getting direct money from Putin, but he's like acting as commander and save the Russian fleet so that they could fire their missiles and kill those kids. I don't even know. Not yet. So far in the in the war, as of September 8th, it's what, the 10th today. Big jump in the loss of troops. Big jump in the loss of armored personnel vehicles. Big, huge jump in the loss of vehicles. Big jump in the loss of tanks. Big jump in the loss of artillery. Big jump in the loss of UAVs. An anti-aircraft, they got knocked out. So this is telling me that Ukraine is going on the offensive, and it's an effective offensive. You have to understand, Crimea, the part of Ukraine that Putin took over, is Ukraine. Crimea is Ukraine. Putin doesn't want Crimea to go back to Ukraine. Here, do I have a map? Putin doesn't want Ukraine to go. Here. Papa. This is Ukraine right here, or this is Crimea. Right? Crimea is part of Ukraine. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. Crimea is part of Ukraine. Oh, dude. Okay, like that. Crimea is part of Ukraine. Russia invaded and took over Crimea, and Russia wants to say this is now Russian, but it's not. It's Ukrainian. So Ukraine is trying to take back its territory, but Elon Musk is on Team Russia. So whenever Ukraine tries to go into their own land to take it back, Elon Musk will turn off Starlink for them so that they cannot use Starlink to operate it. Because remember, Elon Musk is on Team Putin, and Elon Musk thinks Crimea belongs to Putin, even though Crimea belongs to Ukraine. Do you see how Elon Musk is on Team Russia? It's like easy to see, dude. It's easy to see. Don't listen to people's words. Look at what they do. Not always. Sometimes the words are important. But like other times, yeah. Also listen to their words, but also see what they do. And see if they match. Okay. I should have worked this out before I did this. What is this? I'm afraid to click in it. Oh, this is the Georgia indictment count. Remember how I told so Donald Trump and everyone and his criminal gang are indicted on RICO charges in Georgia. There's like 19 people. There's like tons of people. No. This list is the list of people that the grand jury recommended the DA press charges against. So I don't know. I guess the grand jury is like 21 people, and not 12 people. It looks like it's 21 people. But if a majority of the grand jury agrees or like recommends it, then you can say that the grand jury recommended charges be pressed against this person. The DA isn't obliged to press charges against everyone that the grand jury recommends. It's just the grand jury recommended it. So something interesting to note is that we got Rudy Giuliani, 20 yes, 1 no. John Eastman, 20 yes, 1 no. Kenneth Chesebro is 20 yes, 1 no. Donald Trump, 20 yes, 1 no. What the fuck is up with that 1 no? There's always at least one person saying no. Who is that one person? Well, like if we were on the bad team, we could try to dox the list and find out. But I don't care, right? I'd rather these people be anonymous. Like I don't want any harm to befall them. Even though I can recognize this one guy who always says no is a Trumper. That guy is brainwashed. That's one guy. It does that goes to you to show that it's almost impossible to keep out all of the crazy people. This one guy saying no to everything, is it because he's more principled than anyone else? No. No, there's no principle involved. What's the factor? Like maybe if this was like a Nazi tribunal, or like not a Nazi tribunal, but maybe like if this was like Nazis, like this is a Nazi court, and we're gonna see if we can convict all these innocent Jewish people of stuff, like and here's our jury, and this one guy is like, no, I'm not a Nazi. I'll never vote to convict these poor innocent Jewish people. I'll never do it. Maybe in that context, it would be okay. Maybe. Okay, fine. If you change the frame completely from what it is. That's like the Watcher. Marvel's What if things were totally different from what they actually are. No. Stick with the way things actually are. What are things? What are not things? What? No. What if? What are things actually? What? That's what's important. What's actually here? Not what's possible. What's not probable. Well, maybe probable, but what's not what's possible or what's possible. No, we're focused on what's actual. What's real. What's really actually there. It can be limitless anything potentials, but only one actual. So that's why we want to find the actual. So you look at this list here, and there's this one guy who's consistently voting to acquit Donald Trump and the whole conspiracy of the conspiracy. Like that's crazy. That's insane. But he was overruled. And look at here. A majority felt that Lindsey Graham should have been charged. And he wasn't. There are no charges on Lindsey Graham that we know of. You know why? Because he's a senator, and it's really, really hard to go after senators. I guess. I don't know why. But I guess there's a bunch of people on here who were recommended for indictment, but weren't indicted. What's this? Oh yeah. Elon Musk refuses to turn on Starlink for Crimea drone attack. SpaceX chief executive deals blows to Ukraine's battle plan by insisting his firm cannot be used to conduct long-range offensive strikes. This was like in July. So, and we're in September. So, it's not like it's a new thing that Elon Musk is on Team Russia. He's been on Team Russia for a while. Yeah, I see those Tesla cars a little bit differently now. Actually, when I see that his new truck that he made, the electric truck, it looks like an 80s it looks like a car from an 80s video game when we had low res, like low poly res, low poly 3D models. Like of just wireframe. That's like a wireframe. If you just had wireframes, like that's what it looks like. It looks so bad. What car was that? What was it? There was a racing car game you could do that you can make the car go on loops and stuff, but it had like realistic physics. But it was like, yeah, that's what it looks like. A car from that video game. So it sells on nostalgia. It's so dumb. He's a shitty guy. Elon Musk is a shitty guy. A shitty guy. Would I ever work for him? I don't know. What will I be doing? Tell you how to do things? Sure, give me lots of money and I'll tell you how to do things. And I'll tell you how you're fucking up. Sure, I'll be a consultant if you pay me a lot of money. I mean a lot of money. What else do I got here? Fucking Elon. Yeah, private power, dude, is bad. Private power is bad. Okay. Back to the Georgia thing. Axios. Fulton County District Attorney Fani, am I saying it wrong? Fani Willis asked a judge on Wednesday to take steps to protect jurors who indicted former President Trump and over dozens of his allies for their alleged attempts to flip Georgia's election results. See, I don't want bad things to happen to those jurors. They were doing their civic duty. Even that one guy who was obviously a Trump guy, even that guy, I don't want bad things to happen to them. I don't want anything bad to happen to people doing their civic duty. They're doing their civic duty. It's democracy. You need the people to do that in order for democracy to function. If you want justice to be done, you need citizens to go and do justice. Like, I don't want them to be fucking terrorized. Who does that? Who terrorizes people who try to do their civic duty? Oh, that's right. People who don't believe in democracy. The Confederates, the white supremacists. That's right. You see how it's connected? Okay. Why it matters. Willis said at least 23 jurors in the case have had their personal information, including their names, ages, addresses, and vehicle details, posted anonymously on conspiracy theory websites hosted by a Russian company as part of an effort to harass and intimidate them. She and other members of her office were also doxxed, and their personal information was often intertwined with derogatory and racist remarks, Willis said in the filing. The information about her included her family's members' names, their dates of birth, home, and their work addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, and GPS coordinates. Holy shit! Man, I don't want that. That's see, people who do that are like why? What's the motivation? What's the motivation for leaking that stuff? Are you doing justice? No, you're working against justice. You're going in the opposite direction of justice. Ooh, that's nice. I like that rainbow. The rainbow is nice. Okay. Carrot. Okay, what else we got here? So yeah, no, that like it's not that hard to see who's on whose team. All you got to do is look. I got like it's pretty clear one guy is on Team Trump no matter what. No evidence will change their mind. They're on Team Trump. It was pretty clear. But I don't want any harm to come to that guy. I don't want that guy to be doxxed. That's stupid. Oh shit. So this was revealed to me. When I was growing up, I had a teacher who loved Thomas Jefferson. She was one of my best teachers. Like, I really, really liked her. Mrs. Doherty. Mrs. Doherty. She was great. I mean, like, she was literally great. So back in the day, we used to have, in high school, it used to be cut up, if you have 6 or 7 periods, I think it was 6 periods, you have 6 hours of instruction with 6 different topics and then lunchtime. That's the way it was. However, back in my day, it was like an experiment. It was an experiment to see what happens if you take 2 classes, history and English, and you cram them together into a 2-hour block, and you combine you combine it, so it's both English and history. English history. It was pretty cool. Mrs. Doherty, she was great. She was fantastic. What a great teacher. And she loved Thomas Jefferson. She loved Thomas Jefferson. Her only regret was that she said that he didn't free his slaves after his death or something. And she like, this is like in the 90s, or yeah, this is like a while ago. So cut her some slack. She was super cool. Great teacher, right? See, amazing things. Like, oh man, teachers are great. You have no idea. I mean, like, maybe you do, but teachers are fucking amazing. Teachers are amazing. It's all about the teachers, guys. I'm telling you, it's all about the teachers. Anyways, so I had a rosy idea of Thomas Jefferson growing up, like going forward through life after experience with her. You know, she's a great teacher. She taught me many great things. But also, I had a rosy idea of Thomas Jefferson. I thought it, until like pretty recently. I saw that movie. I saw that show Hamilton on Disney Plus. Really good show. Really good show. And I came to my own understanding that I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Did the Confederacy ever really go away? Wait a minute. I was for a long time I was like that. I was like, wait a minute. and then yeah, and then Black Lives Matter happened, and then which kind of like opened my eyes more, and then yeah, I saw that movie Hamilton, which put Thomas Jefferson in not such a good light. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I should reconsider Thomas Jefferson. The power of teachers. Ms. Mary Woods. Good on you, Ms. Mary Woods. God bless you. All right. Okay. So then I found out Thomas Jefferson's family tree. Thomas Jefferson's family tree. If you want to understand why the United States is all fucked up, it's like with its past, with its history, this is like what encapsulates it. This diagram right here. It just. So you had Martha Epps. She was a free woman. She was a white woman. And she was married to like, I don't know who. And she had a child with slaver John Wales. So he's a slaver. John Wales is a slaver. Oh, nice. Cool. Okay. John Wales is a slaver. And Elizabeth Hemings is his property. He enslaved Elizabeth Hemings. He enslaved her. She has no rights, no privileges, no access to law enforcement, no access to the state. If she runs away, all of society will return her back to him. Everything around her is arranged in such a way as to deny her freedom. She has absolutely zero agency in this construct. In the way it's constructed, she has no agency. She is under the whims of John Wales. I mean, she has what she can get away with, is what I should say. Okay, so John Wales married Martha Epps, and they had kids. Who are these kids? One of these kids was Martha Wales. Another kid they had. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. And then on the other side, John Wales also enslaved Elizabeth Hemings. So what that meant was he treated her like property. Like he could do whatever he wanted to her and she couldn't say no. These guys are married. These guys have the state arranged around them. All of society is arranged around the institution of their marriage. So within the institution of their marriage, there's a certain kind of relationship between them. Okay. However, when you come to this relationship on the other side, the state is arranged entirely different. And the state is arranged in such a way as to deny her any freedom. I mean, she doesn't have much freedom anyways as a woman, as a white woman, but Elizabeth Hemings has even less freedom. And then John, so out of this becomes, John Wales essentially rapes Elizabeth Hemings. She can't say no. She can't run away. She can't go somewhere else. She can't say, "Oh, I have a boyfriend." She's like, she can't go to her house. Like, she can't say no. There's nothing she can do. She's forced to be raped. She's forced. So John Wales rapes her again and again and again. He rapes her. And why does he rape her? Is he doing it out of love? Does he love her? No, dude. He is all about the money, because he knows anything that she quote produces, any children that she gives birth to, those are property. That's money in the bank. He's making a bank deposit is what he's doing. He's making bank because he's going to take those kids and then sell those kids for money. He's a slaver. That's what he does. That's what the entire society is based on, slavery. So he's not raping Elizabeth Hemings out of love. He's raping her out of financial benefit. At the very least, it's financial benefit. Maybe he's attracted to her. Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't even matter. He raped her, and he's gonna get money for it. Is what it comes down to. So what's the money he's going to get? He's going to get Robert Hemings. He's going to enslave Robert Hemings. He's going to enslave James Hemings. He's going to enslave Thenia Hemings. He's going to enslave Clytia Hemings. And he's going to enslave Peter Hemings. And he's going to enslave Sally Hemings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He got 4. So John Wales raped Elizabeth Hemings so he could create 6 more humans he could enslave for personal wealth. Ta-da! America. Let me get coffee. You may not like it. It may not be pretty, but that's the way it is. Get myself out of fucking danger here. Oh no. Okay, back to the mission at hand. No, I want it to be like that, full-sized here, but I want to shrink it here. Bear with me. I need to move it over here. Okay, this is just a family tree of our founding father, right? So Thomas Jefferson married. Thomas Jefferson comes along and fucking marries into this family. Ta-da! I'm in this family now. Thomas Jefferson. He marries Martha Wales, who is John Wales, and Martha Epps' daughter. That's who he marries. He inherits Sally Hemings as a slave, as she's enslaved, and John Wales through marriage, because she can't have any property because she's a woman in this situation. Remember, women don't have any rights. in old America. I mean, like old, like colonizer America. I mean, they're not Native Americans. Yeah, they're a different story. I'm not, I'm not as familiar with their social structure, so I can't really speak about them as much. Native Americans, of course, right? This is all going along the backdrop of the invasion of the Native American territory, of Native American and genocide of the Native Americans. This is all in the backdrop of that. You have to understand it. I mean, like, let me acknowledge that real quick. Okay. But this is our founding fathers, and I'm like, when this came to when I understood this, I began to understand why it's so deeply ingrained, our contradiction. Because this is one of our founding fathers. He literally wrote the Declaration of Independence. So he married into this family, right? By marrying Martha Wales. And Martha Wales and Thomas Jefferson, Martha was free because Martha Epps was free. Because it goes by the mom, right? You see? John Wales is a white man. He's a slaver. So he owns all these people. He enslaves all these people. At the same time he enslaved, that's his business. That's how he makes money. He enslaves humans. At the same time, he married a white woman who's free. And then I don't know if okay. And then they had a kid who's Martha Wales, who was also free, right? Because they inherit the status of the mom. So Thomas Jefferson comes along and marries Martha Wales. But Martha Wales can't hold property because she's a woman. Doesn't matter. It goes to Thomas Jefferson. So John Wales, all the slaves of John Wales goes to Thomas Jefferson. I guess one of them was Sally Hemings. So Thomas Jefferson is married married, and they have all these kids. Ba, 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 ba. But because Thomas Jefferson has, the relationship he has with enslaved humans, he has a particular relationship with enslaved humans. So it was to his financial benefit to produce more humans that he could enslave. And that's what he did. Sally Hemings couldn't say no. She couldn't move away. She couldn't say, I have a boyfriend. She couldn't say, I have like my rights, I don't consent. She can't say like anything. The entire state is arranged in such a way that she has no rights and she can't say no. He is 47 years old and she is 17 years old. Damn. Okay. So, out of this, Thomas Jefferson produced all these kids. So, Martha Randolph, and Eston Hemings are like born around the same time. They live at the same time. But one's a slave, one's enslaved, and the other one's free. They have the same dad. The dad's the same. They both call this person dad. Everyone here calls Thomas Jefferson daddy. But this side have no rights and are property. And this side are all free. And control everything. And they all call this person dad. I mean, like, I look at that, I'm like, oh my god. It's like, yeah, I wonder how many other people's family trees are like that. I didn't even think about that before. Didn't even think about it. That's our founding father. That's the guy who wrote the Declaration of Independence. The guy was a slaver. Who, like... I hear noise. There you are. Oh, you left. It's gonna make you pay. There you are. Pay. I have your balls now. Oh, 3 of them. 3 balls. I got 3 out of you. Ha ha ha. George Washington, George Washington. 6'10", weighs a fucking ton. Opponents beware, opponents beware. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. All right. Think about that in the context of an entire state of Tennessee controlled by white supremacists who believe that they're their own country and who follow a white god. They follow a white god. But it's not even a god, it's an idol. They follow the white idol. What else do I got? I don't even know what this is. What is this? Oh, yeah! Saudi Arabia. How Saudi Arabia is not our friend. So, Saudi Arabia's extension of oil production cuts until the end of 2023 or longer helps ensure energy prices will become an election 2024 battleground. Why it matters. U.S. gasoline prices, which have been on the rise, are closely tethered to global oil prices. Meanwhile, the presidential campaign season is heating up, and voters already give the White House low marks on the economy. But why? The economy is doing great, dudes. As far as I know, I haven't heard any different. Fuck you, dude. I gotta fix that. I should have yeah, define woke. Opponents beware, opponents beware. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. He'll save the children, but not the British children. He'll save the children, but not the British children. He'll save the children, but not the British children. Okay, what am I looking for? Since I flashed it up, I kind of have to talk about it. But it just gives me more ammo to say that Elon Musk is a white supremacist. Okay, so this is what Elon Musk says. I want to be able to edit it. Let me just edit it. Snip. Snippity doo dah, snippity day. My oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine heading my way. Snippity doo dah, snippity day. Snip. Just get rid of that, because you can see this. Alright, woke is fundamentally anti-human. Wow. Bold statement for a white supremacist to say. Well then, what does woke mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? Right? That's a pretty fat thing to say. Oh. I had it, dude. You're... Ron DeSantis' lawyer defined it for us, thank God. So I don't know what this means, woke. So, but Ron DeSantis' lawyer told us in a message. So in court, this is what he said. Taryn Fensky, DeSantis' communication director, said, quote, woke was slang term for activism, progressive activism. So woke, so Elon Musk is saying that woke is progressive activism and a general awareness they said belief, but it's not a belief. I've already demonstrated that it's a fact. So it's not a belief, it's an awareness of systemic injustices in the country. That's the thing we're supposed to believe is tearing the country apart. Belief in systemic injustices. There's more. Asked what woke means more generally, DeSantis' general counsel, Ryan Newman, said it would be the awareness of systemic injustices in American society and the need to address them. So, for Elon Musk, we can take out the word woke, because that just confuses things, right? And we can insert this over here. I can't draw on it. So the awareness of systemic injustices in American society and the need to address them is fundamentally anti-human, according to Elon Musk. Blink, 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 blink. How does now the question becomes, how does Elon Musk define human? If the awareness of systemic injustices in American society and the need to address them is something that Elon Musk says is anti-human, it behooves us to define, according to Elon Musk, what is the definition of human. Because this is in reference to the way that American society has systemically discriminated against minorities. It's historical, it's historic, it's fact. You can't get around it. You can't pretend it's not there. It's actual and factual. Check it out, dude. It's satisfactual. So that's not going away. The awareness of it, just because you're aware of it doesn't mean, or not aware of it, doesn't mean it goes away. We can be unaware of it, and it would still be there, right? We would just be unaware of it. Like, think about the implications of something like that. You know how we move in 4 dimensions, right? We move in four dimensions. Space and time. We have all these degrees of movement in space for our bodies, and we have all these degrees. We have like a forward progression in time. Time's always going that way, like in a constant speed. It's always going in a constant speed. Time. So that's 4 directions, 4 dimensions, the 3 spatial and 1 temporal, which is, but that does not preclude the possibility of a 4th spatial dimension to make it 5 dimensions, right? So you have your. Nor does it preclude the possibility of additional temporal dimensions. Like, just because we move in one direction temporally doesn't mean like you can't have parallel ones that we're just unaware of. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that Elon Musk thinks it's a threat to humans that people are aware of systemic injustices in American society. So that behooves us. Well, I'm a human, and it doesn't threaten me. My neighbor's human. It doesn't threaten them. The homeless guys down the street, they're human. It doesn't threaten them. The shop owner, they're human. It doesn't threaten them. The police officer, they're human. It doesn't threaten them. The anarchist, they're human. It doesn't threaten them. Like, who does this threaten? Who does this threaten? The awareness of systemic injustices in American society. Who does this threaten? Right? because we got to know who it threatens in order to figure out who Elon Musk thinks is a human. Because to Elon Musk, this threatens them. This threatens the humans, and it doesn't threaten me, and it doesn't threaten anybody else I would call a human. So we got to figure out. And I know Elon Musk is fucking stupid, but he believes his own bullshit. So, in order for us to better understand Elon Musk, it's easy. We just got to, define his terms, figure out what he's talking about. So, he thinks the awareness of systemic injustices in American society is a threat to the people that he believes are the humans. And it doesn't threaten me, so he doesn't think I'm a human. It doesn't threaten my neighbors. He doesn't think they're humans. In fact, really, who is the only person threatened by the idea of the awareness of systemic injustices in American society? Who would that be? I got it. I know who it is, but give me a second. These guys. Yes. That guy and that guy. It's a threat to them. The awareness of white supremacy, the awareness, it's only a threat to these people. Why would it be a threat to them? Well, because they're literally slavers. They engage in human trafficking. They're human traffickers. I understand black people are very, very aware of this. I understand. I guess I'm trying to make this spread this awareness to other white people. That maybe white people just aren't aware of it. Maybe they are aware of it and they don't care. But you have to give them a chance. You have to give them a chance. Is Sally Hemings his child? I don't know. Anyways, these are the only people threatened by the awareness of systemic injustices, because their relationship is based on systemic injustice. They can only have this relationship because of systemic injustice. So if you're aware of it, then you can start to question it, right? If you're not aware of it, you can never do anything about it. That's the whole basis of 1984. Haven't you ever read the book 1984? So in this book, 1984, like, it's set in the future. It's written in 1948, but they write in the future of 1984. And in this future world of 1984, this hypothetical future world of 1984, everyone has screens that watch what they do all the time. And it has microphones which records what they say all the time. In the future, in this hypothetical future, right? And oh, in my head. Okay. And the government has become totalitarianism. It's authoritarianism. The government is not for the people anymore. It's for it's only ruled by itself. There's no democracy. It's over. And so the government bans all these books, and they start banning words. Like, you can't say words. Can't say gay. You can't say certain words. But the government tells you, says you can't say certain words. And then they introduce a new kind of speaking, a new kind of language. And the new language they introduce is called Newspeak. Newspeak, and it's controlled by the government and the totalitarian government. The totalitarian government made this new language because it on purpose doesn't have certain words, so that if you don't have the words, you can't think it, and then you can't express it. So that's a better way to control the people. So the whole idea of the totalitarian government is to control the consciousness of people so they do not become aware of the fact that they're under control. And ever question, and ever question the hierarchy. They're never to question the hierarchy, because remember, they're totalitarian. They're not allowed to have any kind of input whatsoever. So the whole idea behind of Newspeak is controlling the way people think so they don't question the order. Likewise, the reason why, back to this one, where'd it go? I don't know. There it is. The reason why this awareness of white supremacy is such a threat to Elon Musk is because Elon Musk is invested in an exploitative relationship with human beings. This is his relationship with human beings. To Elon Musk, other people that are not wealthy and not privileged and not part of the elite, those people are cattle or chattel to Elon Musk. They don't deserve human rights. They don't deserve equal pay. They don't deserve a union. They don't deserve medical care. They don't deserve any of that. For Elon Musk, the only metric is power. This is what exactly this relationship symbolizes. There's no justice in owning another human being. There's no just way of engaging in human trafficking. You can't justly traffic in humans, in enslaved humans. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. It's a sin from the fucking start, dude. You can't get around it. Don't even try it. You'll be smacked down in every direction. But that's the basis of their entire society, is the debasement of other human beings who are viewed as less than and denied their human rights. The very basis. So we can say, I can say, and anyone else who follows along with me, who followed along and saw the evidence and can point to the evidence like me, we all can say that Elon Musk, when he refers to humans, he's only talking about the elite. When he's talking about the humans, he's only talking. When he says anti-human, he means anti-elite, because for him, the elites are the only humans, and everyone else is just stuff. Everyone else is extra, superfluous. That's why he wants to go to Mars, to get away from the rest of us. Fucking moron. Okay. So, and for him, an awareness of the unjust system that we live in is anti-elite, anti-him, because he looks at himself as being elite. I mean, I can't prove it any more rationally. It's just I use his own words against him. I mean, like, he tells you what's up. He tells you what's up. He tells you himself that he's a white supremacist. Like, I can't look at Tesla anymore as being anything other than a white supremacy company. Same thing with SpaceX. Same thing with Starlink. It's owned by a white supremacist. It's owned by, like, that's why he tried to kill Twitter. Like it's because it was like fantastically useful for speaking truth to power. That's why he tried to kill it, and he rebranded it. Like, it's so funny. Like, he's stuck in the 90s. I don't know what's up with him. He's literally stuck in the 90s or the 80s, like the early 80s. X is something you would say in the 80s, like ooh, Gen X. That I think that's what his deal is. He's like, I'm trying to stamp it for Gen X. Nah, dude, you don't belong to Gen X. You're a Nazi. Get the hell out of here. Did you hear how he fucked up Las Vegas? He lied. He snookered Las Vegas. And it's easy. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with these local governments. They get tricked by businessmen so easily. All right, let me tell you real quick. I don't have these slides pulled up, but I'll just give you context. So the city of Salem has spent millions of dollars to upgrade the airport in hopes that we could attract an airline carrier to land its planes here and provide an airline service to Salem. The city of was that a wise investment? I don't think so. We already have a budget shortfall. We have a massive budget shortfall. Why would you spend money on an airport that when there's Portland? Portland is the hub. And it's only maybe an hour and a half drive from the Portland airport to Salem. You would be better off extending the rail service to the Portland airport so that you could take a rail from the Portland airport to Salem. That would be because there's already an existing infrastructure. And airports are carbon intensive. It puts a bunch of fucking pollution in the air. We don't need to be doing that shit. We don't need to be doing that. A rail would have been way better. Nonetheless, city of Salem got bamboozled into spending millions and millions of city funds, taxpayer money, into upgrading our airport in hopes of attracting a carrier. And we did. One carrier set up a service to Salem. But listen up, I'm great. I can get my mom, who lives in some other part of Nevada, to come visit me. She doesn't live in Las Vegas. She lives in northern Nevada, and I'm like, she can come visit me, right? But I'm like, but the way that the carrier set it up, no. What you do is you hop the plane early in the morning here in Salem on a weekday. And then you arrive in a big city like Las Vegas or LA. And then you have the whole day. And then on a Sunday is the plane flight back. And that's in the afternoon. Why is it in the it's in the afternoon? The plane flight back to Salem. And that's in the afternoon. So you get in there really, really late. I forget how it works. Anyways, it's designed to send people out of Salem and to other big cities. It's not designed for people to come to Salem. It's designed to send the money out of Salem. You gather people together in Salem and you put them on planes and you send them to big cities where they spend their money and do their holidays, and then they come back to Oregon with no money and no funds and no time. And no nothing. So you've taken all the wealth of Oregon and just siphoned it off. All right, good job, city of Salem. Meanwhile, they're like, okay, now we have a budget shortfall. To get past this budget shortfall, we're going to put a fucking payroll tax on everyone who works in Salem. So it's like a regressive tax, right? Because payroll taxes are regressive. You can't get around it. So that sucked, right? Why? And they're doing this because they need more money to pay for what? Police services. Oh my God! And the people are like, no, defund the police. But they're like, no, we need to pay for this brand new police station we just built. I can't get over it. So yeah. Local governments get bamboozled by businessmen all the time. But it's not limited to just Salem. It happens to bigger cities like Las Vegas. For instance, Elon Musk went to Las Vegas and told them, hey guys, I see you have a traffic problem. And the conventional wisdom would be to create like a monorail or a rail system, like traditional rail system, to go like a loop around the whole place. And it would be like awesome. But Elon Musk said, hey guys, let me sell you this idea I have. He's like, I have this idea of drilling a hole under Las Vegas, and in this tiny ass fucking hole, you can drive a car. And we're gonna drive my electric car with a chauffeur that's gonna chauffeur the people, and it's gonna drive them through my underground tunnel to their destination, and it will be better than a traditional rail system. And cheaper, and the people, the local government of Las Vegas bought it. They were bamboozled by Elon Musk, so they built it. It spent a bunch of money building it. It was, and then what did you get? It's like a one lane road, super claustrophobic, that floods. And it gets traffic jams. It didn't alleviate any traffic. It didn't do any good whatsoever. But it costs a shit ton of money because every single car has to be driven by a human. And it's just slow and cumbersome and just bad. It's just bad, dude. It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, there are existing good ideas that already exist. Look at Japan. They have a great rail system. Just copy them. Any developed nation's got a good rail system. Like, Europe is amazing. They have this thing called Europass. You can pay money for one ticket that lasts for 3 months. Well, this is the way it was back in the 90s. I don't know anymore. You paid a bunch of money for one ticket called the Europass, and you rode the Euro rail anywhere you wanted throughout Europe, the EU. So, what does that mean? That means if you're like tired and you need to sleep, but you have no money, you could use your Europass to find a train that was going to anywhere. It didn't matter. Was it overnight? Great. Take that train and sleep on it. Who cares where you go? It's free. And where you end up, who cares? Just get off, buy some food, and like carry on. Like, don't you know? Come on, guys. It's amazing. It's amazing. Can you do that over here in the United States? I don't know. It might be kind of sketchy. I don't know if you can do that in trains anymore. Just fall asleep. That's kind of sketchy too. No. I mean, they have rooms that you can lock, like, but I don't know if that's extra. No. Yeah, I guess you worry about getting robbed. Okay, anyways. I didn't do that. But the rails, I did take the rail line in Europe, and it was amazing. I love the rails in Europe. I love the rails in Japan. I love the rails in China. I love the rails in Thailand. I mean, they weren't as good in Thailand, but that's okay. It's Thailand. At least they had rails. I mean, I guess we do too, right? There's an Amtrak station I've never taken. I've never taken the Amtrak over here. I should try it instead of talking shit, right? What else do I got here? Bree Newsome bass. I get a lot of stuff from her. She's good. Award-winning director Ava DuVernay became the first African-American woman to present a movie in competition at the Venice Film Festival. I can't tell you how many times I've been told, don't apply for Venice. You won't get in, she said. Bree Newsome Bass provides a frame. I'm totally happy for her. But society has to stop framing it as an accomplishment for black people to be included in white spaces. The fact that it's 2023 and this is the first time is, more than anything, a damning indictment of how racist the film industry is. That is to say, there's black excellence everywhere. It's all over the place. All you have to do is look for it. It's there. And that it's taken them so long is not to say that, oh, it's about time black people made great stuff. No. It's to say, oh, it's about time white spaces allowed black people in them to present their excellent stuff. Like, and before you think that I'm just making it up or playing the race card, quote, quote, remember, it wasn't that long ago when Jesse Owens won the Olympic gold medal and stood on the platform in Nazi Germany in the face of all those Nazis, and then came home and was told to come in through the back door because he was black. Oh God! Oh, that's like, oh, right. Holy, oh my gosh! Mike Huckabee.
To those in power are dealt with in third world dictatorships, banana republics, and communist regimes.
Hold on, wait.
Do you know how political opponents to those in power are dealt with in third world dictatorships?
Yeah, dude. Do you know? Yeah, exactly. Right. Okay. So let's talk about Belarus. You know Belarus? Belarus is the country directly adjacent to Russia. It's right next to Russia. It's funny because it's hilarious because if you know just a little bit of Latin or Latin American or Romance languages, hey JMDX, if you know just a little bit, you know that Bella is beautiful. So Rus is like short for Rus, Russia. So Belarus is beautiful Russia. There's Russia and then beautiful Russia. That's hilarious. It's hilarious. Okay, anyways, Belarus had an election. It tried to be democratic, right? It's right next door to Russia, but it tried to be democratic. So it had an election, and during this election, it elected Alexander Navalny. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? I don't know, right? But he's what the people wanted. He's the people who the people of Belarus voted for this guy. So in response, the corrupted government seized the ballot boxes. They took away the ballot boxes. So the people started protesting. So the government arrested the people who were protesting. So they couldn't protest anymore. And put them in prison and made them disappear. And they installed this other guy, Yanukovych. I don't know what his name is. When I see it, I remember it. But some other guy, some Russian guy who's a puppet. He's a puppet of Putin. He listens to Putin. He allows what Putin to happen. So, yeah, dude, Mike Huckabee, former senator, I know what you're talking about, third world countries. Russia did it to Belarus. Belarus tried to have an election, and they elected a pro-EU guy, a guy who was pro-EU, who's going to move Belarus closer to the EU. It was like a mirror image of what happens to Ukraine. It's actually really funny. It's really, really funny, actually. So both parties. Anyways, before I go back to Ukraine, they elected this guy and Navalny, and he lost, or he won. So the government overthrew the election and installed a Russian puppet and arrested Navalny. Navalny was extradited to Moscow, where he was convicted in a Russian court for like stupid crimes, just made up shit, right? All he did was win the election. And they arrested him. Fuck you. Oops, sorry. They arrested him. That's what happens to your political opponents in a dictatorship, in an authoritarian country. What happens is you win is thugs come along, you win the election, and a foreign government comes in and overthrows your election and installs a puppet that's favorable to them. And then jails you for being extradites you and jails you for being for whatever, and for being a political opponent. That's what happens. So okay. So when he says banana republic, that's what he's talking about. The way Russia has like does not allow any kind of free and fair election. They wanted to do the same thing to Ukraine. They wanted to. And they did, right? They did. They installed, with Paul Manafort's help, they installed this puppet guy, Yanukovych, but he was kicked out by the people of Ukraine in a revolution. So great on Ukraine, right? That's why Russia invaded, because the Russian puppet got kicked out by the people. So anyways.
Banana republics and communist regimes.
Yeah, I just told you about what happened over in Russia to Belarus. Okay. And what they tried to do to Ukraine. Okay.
It's simple. The people in power use their police agencies to arrest their opponents for made-up crimes.
Yeah, dude. Navalny got arrested for made-up crimes. All he did was win the election in Belarus. And the Russian government came along and sent their police force to arrest him and extradite him back to Russia. I'm not fucking lying, dude. This really happened. That's really weird. Like, it's amazing. Mike Huckabee and I are talking about almost the same thing. We both clearly see authoritarianism. We both see fascism. That's the thing we both share. We both clearly see. We know to our souls what we're dealing with. Good. All right. I recognize you, Mike Huckabee. Okay.
In an attempt to discredit them, bankrupt them, imprison them, exile them, or all of the above.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did to Navalny. And that's what they wanted to do to Zelensky. They wanted to if they couldn't kill him, they wanted to extradite him and arrest him and put him in prison where he would never you never see him again. That's the same, exactly. That's exactly the Russian fucking MO. So Mike Huckabee knows clearly the truth, right? He clearly knows the truth. He knows what the fuck is going on. He's not deluded at all. He knows how authoritarianism works.
And if you're not paying attention, you may not realize that Joe Biden is using exactly those tactics to make sure that Donald Trump...
What? Wait, let me see. Let me go back here. Wait. The people of Georgia elected the government of Georgia, the state government of Georgia. The people of Georgia elected DA Fani Willis. The people of Georgia. Fani Willis, on behalf of the people of Georgia, indicted Donald Trump and his fellow co-conspirators for trying to overthrow the will of the people of the state of Georgia. Mike Huckabee is saying that Joe Biden and the state of Georgia and the people of Georgia are the same thing. Joe Biden and the people of Georgia are the same thing. That's what Mike Huckabee is telling you. So he's aware that fascist Russia uses the state to crush political dissent and end democracy. He knows this. He knows this very well. That's what Donald Trump tried to do here in the United States. It was like a mirror copy of what they did in Ukraine. They said lock her up to Hillary Clinton. Then they overthrew the election, and then he Donald Trump moved in his cronies into key political positions. So Mike Huckabee is well aware of how Nazis work, and he's one of them. He's one of them. Why? Because his movement is threatened by the people of Georgia. Because the people of Georgia, under Georgia law, it's their will being done through the Constitution, the state of the Constitution of Georgia. It's their will being done, and Mike Huckabee associates Joe Biden with the people of Georgia. So he's saying that Joe Biden, through the people of Georgia and the Georgia Constitution, are going to imprison Donald Trump for breaking Georgia law. Okay. So let's go back and understand that. So he's aware of how Russia uses the government to end democracy. He's aware of that. He's aware that the people of Georgia, Joe Biden is with the people of Georgia as they execute their constitutional laws. They protect their constitutional laws against a man who broke their laws. That's why they put him on trial. He's aware of this. He understands that's what's happening.
Joe Biden is using
when he says Joe Biden, he says the people of Georgia. He means the people of Georgia are using
those tactics to
exactly those tactics. What? The people of Georgia are invading what? How are the people of Georgia like Russia? I don't understand. How are the people of Georgia like Russia? The people of Georgia had an election, and then Donald Trump came to overthrow the election. Just like the people of Belarus had an election, and Russia came to overthrow the election, their democracy. I'm trying to understand it. I think he's got it. He's got it wrong. He's got it wrong. I don't understand what the fuck he's talking about. The people of Georgia have their. Donald Trump is the same as Russia, dude. The people of Georgia are not the same as Russia. Donald Trump is the same as Russia. Donald Trump came to overthrow the election of Georgia. The people of Georgia didn't come to overthrow their own election. No, they're protecting their laws, dude. They're protecting their election. It's like the people of Ukraine didn't ask for Russia to invade. Russia invaded to overthrow the election. It's the same thing. Mike Huckabee is like all fucked up. What is he doing? What is he doing?
Make sure that Donald Trump is not his opponent in 2024.
I think Donald Trump did that to himself. I don't think anything Joe Biden did, or the people of Georgia. I don't think anything that the people of Georgia, because when he says Joe Biden, he means the people of Georgia. I don't think the people of Georgia did anything to stop Donald Trump from being the nominee for the presidential election for 2024. They didn't do anything. That would be taking away agency and freedom from Donald Trump and his co-conspirators. They made those choices. They made those decisions to do the things they did to get them in the position they are in right now. It wasn't the people of Georgia that made Donald Trump try to overthrow the election. It was Donald Trump who tried to overthrow the election. That's why they literally have him on tape making the phone call. They have him on tape. They have him on tape with Donald Trump saying, "Find me 11,000 votes so you can overthrow the election and I can win the state of Georgia." They literally have him on tape. So Mike Huckabee understands how to overthrow an election, and he's helping them because he's with Donald Trump. Do you see? It's not that he's ignorant of how you overthrow an election. He's telling you that he is fully aware of it, and he's helping them. Like, I'm playing this game called Baldur's Gate 3. Playing this game called Baldur's Gate 3. And in this game, you're dealing with an entities called devils. Devils. There's a distinction, though, right? They make a distinction between devils and demons. They're both evil. Don't get me wrong. They're both evil, of course. They're just different, evil in different ways. So, demons are like chaotic evil. They're like absolutely just mindless rage. They're just crazy. They're just absolutely crazy, chaotic. There's no form to them. There's no nothing. They're fucking just craziness. But they're evil. They destroy everything. They're evil. And they're crazy. They're the chaos. Okay, that's demons. Devils, on the other hand, they're lawful. They have a structure. They have decorum. They have a way that things are supposed to be. However, it's all a mechanism. They're also very deceitful and lying. They have no problems lying or whatever. It's all it's all for evil. They just want to do it evil, like through the state, I guess you would say, through a contract. It's lawfully done. The evil is done lawfully. Just because it's a law doesn't mean it's good. So, and there's the first layer of hell. There's nine hells, and the first layer of hell is called Avernus, and that's where they fight a blood war forever. The demons and the devils are always fighting each other. They're both evil, but they're evil in different ways, and they're fighting each other forever, eternity. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. Anyways, devils. They use reason and cunning and guile and an air of nobility, I guess, in order to authenticate their lies and disguise their lies. And they talk as if they're talking for good, but it's always, whenever you deal with the devil, it's always for evil. They always get the better of it. Always. Don't deal with devils. Don't deal with demons. Don't do it. Don't do it. So this guy is a devil. He is fully aware of all the evil that's going on. He fully knows how Russia overthrows elections. He's fully aware of it, and he ascribes it to democracy. Because that's what's going on with the people. Joe Biden has nothing to do with what's going on in Georgia. Joe Biden is the president of the United States, at federal level. He doesn't dictate, and the state of Georgia. Right. So as it is, as president, he doesn't even control his own Justice Department. Like he has an attorney general, but he doesn't talk to any of the people of the Justice Department. He talks to the attorney general. If he wants to say something to the Justice Department, he doesn't call up fucking the FBI and the NSA and the rah rah rah. What he does is he talks to the attorney general. And the attorney general talks to the people. And then the people talk to the attorney general, and the attorney general talks to the president. They keep independence. The whole point is that you have independence to follow justice wherever it may take you. That's the whole point. Joe Biden. So already Joe Biden doesn't even control his own Justice Department. What makes you think he's going to go and fucking control the Justice Department of Georgia? That's like saying I control the Justice Department of Georgia, and I'm from Oregon. What the fuck, dude? I got nothing to do with Georgia. We're in a union together, sure, right? And I want only the best for the people of Georgia. Only the best for the people of Georgia. But I don't control their Justice Department. I didn't elect their DA. I didn't write their laws. I didn't pass their constitution. I don't even live in their fucking state, guys. I got nothing to do with them. Same thing with Joe Biden. Nothing to do with the state of Georgia. So when this guy fucking talks, he's a devil. And what he's doing is he's fully aware that of the Russian invasion. And he's ascribing it not to Donald Trump, who is obviously on Team Russia, right? We already know that there's a connection between Donald Trump and Russia. He tried to do the same techniques to Belarus as or to the United States as they did to Belarus. He tried to do the same thing, the same maneuver, the same thing. But so this guy knows the evil of what Russia does, and he promotes it. He promotes it. He's on Team Evil. He's on Team Russia. He's the devil. He's putting it on Joe Biden. What the people of Georgia are doing. He's trying to confuse his audience. In this way, he casts a spell, a charm spell. So he's literally using the power of the internet or the power of media to cast a charm spell over his minions, so that the people just follow along blindlessly. They all have worms. I guess you can call him the absolute, like a cleric of the absolute. I don't know. Real funny way of thinking about this. How weird. Okay. Yeah, I freed Orpheus. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, Mike Huckabee. I was all talking about fucking this guy.
Here's the problem. If these tactics end up working to keep Trump from winning or even...
No. What tactics? What tactics? Trump from winning? What the fuck you talking about, dude? He's indicted. He didn't win 2016. He cheated. He didn't win 2020. That's why he did an insurrection on 2021. He's never won. He's never won. He's never legitimately been president. Never. Donald Trump has never legitimately been president. I will never. It's never been the case. It's never been the case. It's never true. He's never been true. So we already know that Donald Trump has never been the president. But he's saying, he's ascribing the normal function of American justice system with totalitarian tactics used by Russia as practiced by Donald Trump. He's trying to confuse his audience.
Running in 2024. It is going to be the last American election that will be decided by ballots rather than bullets.
Oh, that's a threat. So he's implanting in his followers. He's telling them, get ready to commit violence. Because unless Donald Trump becomes president, he's telling his people to use bullets. They already tried to overthrow the government. They already tried. He is fully aware of what he's doing. He understands how Russia overthrows governments, and he is fully on board. He is literally a devil. He sold his soul, and if he's not a devil, he sold his soul to the devil. He can't tell you about it, but because that's part of the contract. But yeah. Yeah, so watch out, dude. Watch out what he says, because what he says is bad stuff. This Mike Huckabee guy is a bad guy. And you know what? You know why you know he's a bad guy? Because his daughter is Sarah Huckabee something. Sarah Sanders Huckabee or something. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, his daughter, who worked for Donald Trump as press secretary. So she lied. So she was like the mouth of Sauron. And then now she's the governor of Kansas. Or something, or Arkansas, some governor somewhere. And she's a horrible governor. She's a white supremacist governor. She's horrible. So, I mean, like, is it? I'm like, is it clear? I'm trying to make it clear for you guys. I'm just, if you have any questions, let me fucking know, dude. JMDX, let me know. Let me know, dude. Look at how the way look at how the way they fool people. This is one of the techniques the way Nazis use to fool their audience. Remember, this Mike Huckabee guy is a devil or contracted with the devil, because he's fully aware that he's lying, and he flips it around on purpose. Okay, so look at the way they do it to Obama. It's the same thing they do to Obama. Look at what they did.
President Obama and French President Sarkozy giving a young woman a serious once over. But pictures can be deceiving. Watch the video. Seems to be a little different story. Obama maybe watching his footing, maybe looking at the steps, maybe letting her pass, as opposed to a checkout. Take a look.
Yes.
Let her go. I hope I don't fall down these stairs. Sarkozy, not so clear. Not so clear. Obama, let me help you, young lady. Please come down the stairs.
I was surprised. Okay, number one, that first picture has been spread around right-wing media a whole bunch. They always character assassinate Obama because they can't stand, a symbol of black excellence. They can't stand it. It's almost like a religious thing, like turn undead, statue of Obama. No, I don't want to idolize the guy, dude. Don't do that. What am I doing? But what I mean is that they manipulate their audience. Not the Nazi media is fully aware that they're lying, but they do it anyways to manipulate their audience and to better control them. Yeah. So before trial, USA offered Proud Boys plea deals revealed yesterday. Oh, this is from Roger Parloff. They passed. So the Proud Boys were all offered plea deals, and none of the Proud Boys took the plea deal. Instead, they were banking that Donald Trump would give them a pardon. So the trial was delayed over and over again. But it ended up that they were all convicted anyways, right? So instead of taking the plea deal, they got convicted. So Tario was offered 9 to 11 years of prison, and he got 22 years. Nordine was offered 6 to 8 years, and he got 18 years because he refused it. Biggs was offered 6 to 8 years, and he got 17 years in prison. Zach Rail was offered 6 to 7 years, and he got 15 years in prison. Pizzola was offered 4 to 5 years, and he got 10 years in prison. So, it's not like they didn't have a chance to like own up, right? If the Proud Boys would have just owned up to the fact that they tried to overthrow the government, if they would have just owned up and said, "Yep, that's me. Yep, I did that. Yep, I'm real sorry. Yep, I got tricked," right? That's all they had to do. Instead, they continued on with the conspiracy. Instead, they believed that they had the right and the privilege to overthrow American democracy. That's what they're going to prison for it because they believe it still. They still believe it. Why would you think that? Because white supremacy. White supremacy, white supremacy, fuck your justice system, white supremacy. Now, it's good that these people are going to prison, but we need to put Donald Trump in prison as well. At the very least. At the very least. I think we should try him under the articles of treason and give him the penalty of death. The death penalty. He's already done it a ton of times. He's done far worse. Oh, that's the thing I just remembered. Republicans they really want to impeach Joe Biden because they control the House of Representatives right now. So they have the power to impeach Joe Biden should they find like a case against him. However, please remember, these same Republicans all voted no when it came to the impeachment of Donald Trump. What are the crimes that Donald Trump did? Remember, Donald Trump stole appropriations from Congress and withheld them for his own personal benefit, extorting an American ally, and then lied about it and covered it up. That's one thing. The other thing was Donald Trump attempted to overthrow American democracy and install himself dictator. They acquitted him. Republicans acquitted him of both of those crimes already. So, according to Republicans, it's not a crime for the president to steal appropriations from Congress, nor is it a crime for the president to extort the president of an ally, of a foreign ally. Nor is it a crime for the president to attempt to overthrow the American government. That means Republicans have to find a crime bigger than those things. They have to find something worse than stealing from Congress, worse than extorting an ally, worse than overthrowing the Constitution. Something worse than overthrowing the Constitution to impeach Joe Biden, right? Because they already acquitted Donald Trump of doing those things. Actually, that only matters within the context of a person, within the context of integrity, where the truth matters. However, if you enter into the mind frame of Republicans, remember their only standard is power. So for them, they will gladly impeach Joe Biden for the tiniest of infractions if they can find it, as long as it's in service to power. The truth doesn't matter. Integrity doesn't matter. It's all in service to power. And in service to what? White supremacy. Their idol. Their white idol. Their white idol. I'm going to keep pressing it because it's not going away and it's still a threat. And it's ingrained in us since the beginning. Plea deals, I did that. Breaking. Cuba arrests 17 people in human trafficking ring that recruits for the Russian army. In other words, Russia is literally kidnapping people from foreign countries to send them back to Russia to fight in Ukraine. Mike Huckabee, Donald Trump, Republicans, they're all allied with the same entity that kidnaps people because they're all human traffickers. Stop Cop City. A group of Stop Cop City activists have broken onto the training center site to attempt to halt construction work. They are calling this the People's Injunction. Stop Cop City. What's Cop City? Cop City is the name of a proposed what do they call it? Paramilitary training, like terrorist site, terrorist training camp. It's a terrorist. Basically, it's the name of a terrorist training camp. They understand that the police are a terrorist organization. They're a white supremacist organization. They enforce white supremacy. They're terrorists. They're literally terrorists. They're there to terrorize. They're state terrorists, state-sponsored terrorists. So these state-sponsored terrorists want to destroy a forest of natural habitat in order to create a replica of, well, in order to create a training camp where they can train their terrorist tactics. They want a terrorist training camp to continue their terrorist actions. So of course people protested, right? People protested, and they occupied the forest so bulldozers couldn't come in and like bulldoze the forest. Well, the state terrorists didn't like that. So state terrorists came in with guns, firearms. And the first activist they saw, they murdered him. Tortuga. The fucking the state terrorists murdered the first activist they could. They murdered him. After the state murdered the activist, after the state of Georgia murdered the activist protesting against this terrorist training camp, the state of Georgia, through the state terrorists, the police, pressed RICO charges against the terrorists, against the not against the police, no, against the protesters. So the protesters didn't fucking kill anyone. They didn't do any violence. They didn't hurt anyone. They're not tearing down the forest. In fact, they were the fucking victims of police murder. Literally. And yet the state of Georgia is pressing RICO charges against them. Holy shit. That's an example of white supremacy. Of Georgia being under the control of white supremacy, the police. That's why when they say defund the police, what they're talking about is defunding state-sponsored terrorism. It's not serving the people of Georgia to murder activists in the forest and then send a bunch of kids to prison under RICO charges. Charges meant for like criminal organizations like Donald Trump. Oh my gosh. And so you can't deny it, right? You can't deny it. This doesn't go away. This doesn't go away. You have to deal with it. And the way you deal with it is that you dismantle white supremacy. Remember how all these people are talking about like they're coming after our way of life. Yes, we are. Your way of life is white supremacy, is privilege. It's the enslavement of human beings. Yes, we're coming after your way of life. You're goddamn right we are. Get ready. Fuck. Like, do I have to say it? Really? Okay. Any questions you have, come talk to me. We'll talk about it if you're confused. Because you can see, right? They cast confusion all the time. They lie all the time. If they're willfully lying, of course you're confused. Of course you'll have questions. Come talk to me. All right. Like, yeah, why am I doing this still now? Like, because in 2018, this guy was doing this. And in 2023, Russia fires missiles to murder Ukrainian kids while they sleep. And then yesterday, this guy still has his fucking signs going. He still has the signs going. That same guy, when proven wrong, is now spreading like he's a climate change denier. He's an anti-vaxxer. And he's a pro-Trumper. and he's a pro-Russian. So the guy has literally got a fucking Burning Man camp of disinformation on the corner. Like, oh my god, it's insane. That's why the show still exists, because people like him still exist. So education, I still need to. People still have to know. People still don't know about what's going on, and it turns out sometimes it doesn't even matter if people know or not. They're still gonna say no. They will never ever believe it. Or here, like Linwood, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much evidence you give them. They were brainwashed. They are brainwashed no matter what. He's not defending Jewish kids from Nazis. He's defending a mob boss. This guy is brainwashed. So remember, be clear enough to make distinctions. Got to be sharp. Until next time, America. Pagod Kiddo out. Peace. Stop.